What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update for Saturday, May 25th, 2024. That's right, it is Memorial Day weekend, so this is a holiday edition of the Pandemic Update, if you think about it, because we're really talking about what's going on so far this holiday weekend. Today we're going to take a look at wastewater, just a few news stories. We're going to do some wastewater sites today, and then we're going to do some more wastewater sites tomorrow, coupled in with some of the daily things that we do. It's not a lot of news, and we don't expect there to be a lot of news, at least not in the United States over the holiday weekend. We might see some news from around the world as time goes on. It's not a holiday weekend everywhere, so if you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. This is where you'll find these updates every day. We talk about health-related issues, including COVID and other viruses, but we also talk about climate change as well. I've been slowly putting more climate change stuff into these videos because that can affect where we live and can affect our health because, let's face it, I mean, warming climate, temperatures getting hotter, there's a lot of heat-related illnesses, heat strokes, exhaustion. It can impact your breathing. There's many different things that can happen because of climate change, so that is important as well. So if you're new, subscribe down below. Give a thumbs up. The more thumbs up we get, the more YouTube pushes this throughout the algorithm. Share this with anyone you know, and leave a comment down below. All right, starting off today. Experts urge vaccination as RSV and a whole bunch of viruses circulate across the country, meaning Australia. It is now wintertime in Australia. We here in the United States usually see this surge of RSV and the wintertime illnesses that usually occur back in November, or October actually it starts. October through the beginning of January is when we usually see those surges. And this is something that is relatively concerning in Australia. In short, recorded cases of RSV have nearly doubled across Australia over the last year to about 56,063. Nearly 3/5 of those with the virus were aged 4 or under. And then it says, what's next? Well, as you know, those who are most vulnerable need to get the vaccine for RSV. There is now a vaccine for RSV, and you just need to get it. All right, taking a look at this. COVID-19 pandemic reversed decade of life expectancy gains. This is really true. We've talked about this many times before, and it's another good reminder. Since the pandemic has started, people got infected with COVID, and then some went on to develop long COVID. Well, by developing all these new health issues, guess what? The life expectancy is dropping, and then some people who have died of COVID have died at a relatively young age. COVID is impacting people of all ages. People can get severe COVID at all ages, so really, life expectancy gains that we did prior to COVID, they have dropped somewhat, just based on all the different things that can happen. Like COVID can cause diabetes, can cause heart problems, can cause brain problems, can cause breathing problems. There's a lot of, it can cause some people get COVID so bad that when they're no longer positive, they have trouble just walking. Yes, that happens. And that is lowering the quality of life, and it can lower your life expectancy. So we'll probably touch on this again, but there's just another study out there that confirms it. All right, this is relatively interesting. This is from Sci-Fi on X. Update. Influenza-like illness, ILI. Activity from the CDC is updated. As you can see, the off-season is significantly higher than they were before 2020, as seen on this graph. The evidence people are getting sick more often than they were before 2020. The years 2023 to 2024 and 2014, 2019 are shown. And you can see here, if we open this reddish orange line, I believe it's a red line, you can see here, 2023-2024 season. Look at that. The number of percent of visits for influenza-like illness, it's much higher than it was in the pre-COVID years. So that is not good, my friends. People are just constantly being sick. Up in Minnesota, this is coming from Fox 9, Minnesota. I believe this is the Minneapolis, St. Paul area. They're saying that there are possibly several new confirmed, it's not possibly, it is confirmed, confirmed new cases of measles. We've been seeing measles pop up in various places around the United States, Canada, and really around the world at this point. So, yes, it's something that started. The first cases that we were hearing about were actually right in my area, in the Philadelphia area. Then they would start popping up in other places. And here we are again, yet again. This time, Minnesota and the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, they are talking about confirmed measles cases once again. Taking a look now at what's going on with the pollen map for today. And we can see here that 40% of the country in medium status for pollen levels today. What you do not see is not very many areas are in the red today. The south is in the green, some yellows. Same with the west coast, just a couple orange areas. So really, though there's a lot of areas in medium, the high levels, we're not seeing a lot of areas that are in high levels today. Taking a look at air quality for today, as this refreshes, or hopefully refreshes, we will find a mixed bag. And generally the east, there's a lot of yellows in the east, especially the mid-Atlantic region, and then Texas. Texas and Oklahoma, especially Texas, is in the red. Those wildfires down in Mexico, they're continuing to spread northeast, plus it's very hot. If you do not have to go outside in San Antonio, Austin, Houston, Dallas, all these places in, for the most part, eastern Texas, take a look at Odessa. Why is there a site there that's at 670 for the value? Wow, that's really bad. Yeah, so if you're in Texas, limit your time outdoors. Taking a look at the heat-related illness map, the southeast is the worst portion for the country right now. There are some heat-related illnesses showing up in the west coast as well. Taking a look at this. This is from Professor Peter Hotez. You may have seen him at some point talking about the vaccine that he developed or something pandemic-related on TV or on Twitter. Well, now he's actually talking about climate change. And he tweeted out this graphic, which I think is really interesting. So it says Climate Shift Index. Change in likelihood due to climate change. Take a look at what is going on in South America, Central America, Mexico, South Texas, Southern Florida, even portions of Louisiana. Look at that. It's in the high level here from a change. And temperatures, they are really starting to heat up in these areas. And when temperatures heat up and get hotter each summer, we have more heat-related illnesses. Heat strokes, exhaustion, dehydration, breathing difficulties, wildfires, which causes bad air quality, which messes with our breathing. I mean, this is something that is really concerning and that we should not be seeing. And unfortunately, if we don't do anything about this, it's going to continue to spread. It'll spread to more regions in the United States. We can already see here. There's the index levels of 1 and 2 across the mid-Atlantic portion of the United States and even across just south of the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley. Things are starting to change. Things are starting to get hotter. I've noticed it has been much more humid here where I live, and as a result of that, we have been seeing heavier rainfall. I had rainfall rates during a storm last year that hit nearly 10 inches per hour on my weather station. Now, it didn't rain 10 inches in 1 hour, but it lasted for a couple minutes, and it dropped just a couple inches of rain within 15 minutes. Yes, that can happen, and it's a result. Warmer air means more moisture in the atmosphere. If you want to learn more about climate, you can do so down on my other Twitter account, which is @DataReports, where I do talk about all things climate. And real quickly, I do need to show you this. There is a moderate risk of severe weather today across portions of Oklahoma and Kansas. Tornadoes, wind threat, and hail threat are all likely today, and there could be some long-track damaging tornadoes, EF2 or EF3, possibly. So make sure you have your plans in place and you know what to do if you go under a tornado warning. Go to your safe place and have your weather radio, like I have one right here, at the ready so you can go down into your safe place and take shelter immediately. Alrighty, moving on. Taking a look at EMS calls for Philadelphia yesterday. Not a number that I like. 864. That's quite a few calls. Let's see what's going on in the Philadelphia suburbs right now, and we can see that out in the burbs outside of Philadelphia in Montgomery County, cardiac arrest right now in Upper Dublin Township, head injury, respiratory emergency, quite a few fall victims. Currently, there are 12 calls there. Taking a look at Chester County, Pennsylvania, we do see heart problems in Westtown Township, and there are some other calls that are going on, right, including hypotension. All right, taking a look at Walgreens this week, and this week's numbers at Walgreens show that for the nationwide level, the positivity rate for COVID is rising at this time, and it is 17.5%. Prior week was 15.3%, difference of up 2.2%. Testing is up slightly, 3,697 versus 3,565. Let's take a look at just a couple wastewater sites, and then we'll do a whole bunch more tomorrow. Let's go on up to Boston. What is going on in Boston, Massachusetts? And in Boston, we see levels are kind of bouncing around. They were dropping. Most recent update shows for COVID, they may be rising once again. Hey, this is a big wastewater site. 2.4 million population. RSV at this time is relatively flat. Influenza A is dropping. Influenza B is dropping. HMPV at this time is dropping. And norovirus is also dropping at this time. Mpox, no detections of that, and hepatitis A, just a few detections at this time. Now let's do a wastewater site down in the southeast. I think we're going to do one for each region. Let's see what's going on in Orlando, Florida. How about we go to Southwest Orange County? That's one we don't usually look at. 50,000 population. They had experienced a rise for COVID. Now it has leveled off a little bit. RSV, no issues. Influenza A, Influenza B, no issues. HMPV is rising. Norovirus is not only rising, norovirus is rapidly rising. Wow, and it is really high. Over 250,000 pathogens at this time. Wow, there's a lot of norovirus at this wastewater site. Mpox at this time, no issues, and a few detections of hepatitis A. Let's go down to the south central region of the United States. Let's go northwest of Houston and see what's going on there. And in this region, we do see there is a rise for COVID going right now. No RSV issues, no influenza A, and no issues with influenza B. And HMPV is not much of an issue. Norovirus is sitting in medium, but it is dropping at this time. No Mpox issues, and some detections of hepatitis A. Now let's go up to the Great Lakes, or somewhere in there. Can we go up near... How about we come up to Warren, Michigan, and see what's going on there? I think this is, 140,000 population. COVID. It's saying that's high, but it is actually starting to rise in this area. RSV is low. Influenza A is rising slightly. Influenza B is low at this time. HMPV, not much of an issue. And norovirus is dropping at this time, though it is still in moderate levels. No Mpox issues, and a few detections of hepatitis A at this time. Alright, we're going to do one more wastewater site, this time out in the west. How about we come out to Las Vegas? Tomorrow, we're going to do the CDC wastewater page and all of our normal Sunday wastewater updates. Las Vegas at this time is seeing a slight rise for COVID. Not major, but slowly starting to go up for COVID. We'll have to see if that increases going down the line. RSV at this time is low. Influenza A is low. Influenza B is low. HMPV, no issues. Norovirus did see some sort of a rise, and it's in the medium to high category at this time. No Mpox issues, and just a few detections of hepatitis A at this time. Taking a look at something that updated yesterday. Epidemic status, I should say, is growing for COVID in the following states: Massachusetts, Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, and up in Montana. And it is likely growing now in Rhode Island, New Jersey, Virginia, California, Nevada, Oregon, and in Alaska. And I should add, because I forgot to add this, it is growing in Hawaii at this time. So Hawaii is growing for an epidemic status, and then it is likely declining, not estimated or unstable in a lot of other places. So again, a change up from the previous update last week, which of course you saw this update yesterday, but if you didn't, now you're seeing that, hey, surprise, it's starting to grow again, or likely is growing again some places, and we'll likely see this get mixed up and changed again next week. Like, for example, last week Florida was growing. Now this week it's stable or just not certain as to where it is going. And taking a look at the latest variants, KP.2 is now at 28.5%. Then we have a KP.3 now at 12.7%. JN 1.7 is at 9.2%. KP 1.1 is at 9.2%. JN.1 is at 8.4%. Taking a look now at what's going on in New Jersey today, 183 hospitalizations. That is higher than yesterday. 4 people on a ventilator, 68 out of 70 hospitals reporting, 18 people in the ICU, and discharges 22. No updates expected out of New York State this weekend. They don't update on the weekend, and it is a holiday weekend. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update. We'll have another one tomorrow. tomorrow with a whole bunch more wastewater sites, the CDC wastewater map, and everything else in between. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And, of course, share this video with anyone you know, and leave a comment down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Enjoy your holiday weekend, and thanks for watching.